From what you and other officials have said, I gather that the U.S. has at least two stated goals in Lebanon. The first one, you said that you don't want it to turn into another Gaza. You're working towards cessation of hostilities. But you also support Israeli efforts in dismantling Hezbollah infrastructure in Lebanon. So how can those two goals exist in the same time frame? Is the understanding to first allow Israel to push back against Hezbollah before going into negotiations?
Oh gosh, okay. We gotta move, we have to move. No, I'm just trying to make sure that we're out of here because the president's speaking at 2 o'clock. That's what they're giving me updates on we gotta move pretty quickly. On answering that question, Patsy, I'll say this. Look, I think two things, both things could be true and at the same time. We believe that, and I said this moments ago, we want to see a ceasefire deal. That's what we want to see, to provide some space for diplomacy so that that would enable civilians to go back home on both sides, right? To go back home, both sides of the border. And so we're going to have those discussions. We're going to be hoping to be able to achieve that goal. And we believe ultimately a diplomatic resolution is the way to move forward here. And to your point about Israel, we believe Israel has the right to defend itself. That's what we believe. We've said that. And what we understand is the operation that they're moving forward with in Lebanon are indeed targeted. We're having those conversations. We're being very direct in having those conversations with the Israeli government. That will continue. And we have been very clear with this as well. We believe and support and certainly support Israel's right to defend itself, and certainly Israel's security continues to be our support for them.
And just to pick up on your point that it's targeted, have you, considering the fact that there are American citizens still in Lebanon, have you received any Israeli guarantees that they won't strike the airport in Beirut, as well as the road to the airport, which I understand goes through Hezbollah-controlled territory?
We continue to have very, very direct conversation with the Israeli government. That's what we're going to do about how the shape and scope and the nature of their operations, of their campaign moves forward. We are going to have, again, very direct conversations with them.
And if I may just quickly on Taiwan, Karine, in response to Taiwan National Day celebrations, China is feared to respond by either conducting war games or sending its assets to the region. Is the administration prepared on such an event, considering a lot of the military assets have been deployed to the Middle East?
So look, you're talking about the speech that the Taiwan president made. Look, that it is tradition, as you know, for on that day, a long-standing tradition for Taiwan's president to deliver remarks on 10/10. It is routine domestic focus address that has historically prompted little response from Beijing. This year should be no different. We're not going to speculate on what the PRC will or will not do this year, but we see no justification, certainly, for a routine annual celebration to be used as a pretext for military exercises. We urge Beijing to act with restraint. Our one China policy has not changed, and we've been really consistent about that the past 3.5 years. Go ahead, Michael.